Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and today, seeing as I am on the doorstep of heading out to PAX Unplugged, and basically most of what's going on in terms of my studio for filming has kind of come to a close at the moment. Also been battling a sickness recently as well, which has not been a lot of fun. But in this time frame, there has been the announcement from Adam Poots and the individuals behind Kingdom Death Monster that there is a simulator. And so I thought it would be kind of cool to jump into that simulator and give you an idea as to what it looks like, feels like, and behaves like as I move through it. And again, knowing that this is way in the early stages. So when you first jump in here, you got Kingdom Death Monster here. We are obviously inside of a train as we head towards our dwelling. We've got the entering or our game room area here. We can join a friend's room, could adjust settings. I'll just kind of show you quickly what I've got set here. Camera settings, bobbing on or off. I'll leave it on, even though I typically don't like that. Inputs, this gives you a good idea of the different types of keys that are used inside of the game, although we'll see this when we actually get into it. And in terms of audio, this is what it looks like right now. So let's go ahead into our game room and load in. And just like that, we are now inside the house. So we will take a look around. It is quite dark. Here we have the ability to get inside of a storage area, which I have nothing inside of at this point. Front door isn't accessible. You can't go inside of it. Again, a lot of what's going on in here is not accessible at this point because this is brand spanking new. I'll go upstairs first. There's a bunch of rooms in this house that you can not gain access to at this moment, but in the future, I assume we're going to be able to get into some of these rooms, and they're going to house different aspects of gameplay inside of them, or who knows what. So you can see the doors are locked up. Now, from my understanding, based on the Black Friday sale that they had going on, I think one of these doors is supposed to open with a digital key in the near future. So my guess, and it's honestly just a guess, is going to be that it might be a room where there's miniature painting. So basically the premise of this is you've got a dwelling. This is the dwelling, we're inside of it, and you can play Kingdom Death Monster like you would kind of in a TTS mod situation, except feeling like you're inside of an actual house. Instead, you can get up, walk around. There's supposed to be like secrets and things inside of this house that you can find, and there'll be interactive elements to the game as well, plus the idea that you sit down and actually play KDM on the table. I think they're just trying to make this something a little more special than just a typical TTS mod, but again, early stages, so it's not going to have all the bells and whistles at this point. But this is generally the front foyer and the hallway. And like you just saw, I can interact with a chest and a number of doors, but can't get into any of them yet. You can interact with the light switch here. So you can actually, and when you actually highlight on something in the game, it kind of, and I call it a game. I'm not sure if that's the right terminology in this case, but when you click on this, it kind of zooms you into the actual object. Then you can interact with it at that point, and then kind of click out or escape out. And now the entire hallway is pitch black. But for now, we'll just leave it on. So it's just kind of showing you, I think, that you'll be able to interact with things within the house. Now, if we come to this door here, we can go into this one. And this leads to what is probably put the most effort in so far, where the actual game is set up on the table. So here we have a full room. You can see a nice table with 4 seats around it. We have ourselves some potential artwork or pictures, or maybe just blank areas where things will hang in the future. There's another storage chest here. We've got, and there's the ability to hold down shift in order to move a little bit faster. You can also hit the I for inventory. Of course, there's nothing in there at this point. This looks like it could be an area where they might start putting maybe in-game items that you can kind of pick up and buy and then store in this area. If you click on it, you can kind of go up and down the shelves to check things out. And I'll show you the other shelf in a second because there's actually items in it. Can't interact with anything here. I think the other thing that was mentioned in the KDM update recently was that there was potentially going to be a door that's not shown, and that's where the key that's given, I guess, during Black Friday is going to open up a door that's not visible, something along those lines. So that's interesting. I don't know what that means or entails, but you've got, of course, all the artwork and visual style that KDM brings to the table showing up here. You can hear the what appears to be the lanterns making that noise. No way to actually go inside of this, but you've got all the artwork there. There's pieces of artwork all over the place as well. And then over here, you've got the cabinets, and these cabinets actually do have miniatures inside of them. And again, all from the core game experience laid out. Now, again, like I said before, the idea is that you're inside of a dwelling. You've got the game set up on the table. You can sit down, you can play it, you can save your game state. You're supposed to, in the future, be able to also even paint these miniatures in this digital world and be able to play this game again, either solo or with your friends. So this is supposed to just kind of, again, enhance the digital presence of a game, or provide you an alternative way maybe to set up or play the game and enjoy it without the need to bring it all out. Some of these campaign games are quite large, and sometimes it doesn't always work to actually bring them to the table. So in those cases, it can be kind of beneficial to do this. So you can open up these cabinets and take a look inside at the different units. And if you actually click on the unit, it will zoom straight into it. And then you can use the keys to actually rotate the... let me see, I'm not doing very good with this. There we go. You can rotate the camera around the miniature. So again, later on, if we ever paint this particular one and we want to sit it on the shelf for display, you could set it up a particular way, facing a certain way, and leave it there. And you can cycle through all the different shelves and put your miniatures in whichever way you'd like. You can also pick the miniature up. So you can say okay, I've got this miniature with me, and I'm actually going to leave the cabinet completely, bringing the miniature with me to the table. And I could drop it on the table, for instance. It's going to sit me down, and then once you're sitting down at the table, you're able to kind of interact with everything at it. But if you want to leave, you can just hit escape key or use the X in the top corner. So that's the general premise of this. And again, you can interact with all these miniatures, bringing them into the game state or not. You can send them to your inventory if you just want to shoot it straight to hitting I, and now it's in here. So I can just kind of collect all the miniatures if I wanted to that are in this cabinet, and then just head over to the table and sit down. So let's do that, and I'll show you kind of how you can interact with things on the table. And I'm still just kind of poking around at this right now. I have not spent a lot of time here, so there might be things that I even miss in this situation. But one thing that they did do well is as soon as you sit down, you then kind of get this freeform camera that you'd expect to see in TTS or some other type of board game space that's online, and you're able to kind of interact with the different elements of the game. So you can click on the dice, for instance. Whatever it zooms in like this, at the beginning I kind of liked it. I still kind of like it, but it could be a bit jarring to get used to, being thrown straight into it. But it is kind of cool that it highlights it. You can pick it up, rotate it, set it to a specific face value if you'd like. I do like the actual feel of the interface. Feels pretty snappy, it's not slow, so that's nice. But if you choose to pick it up, you can grab a die, for instance, and you can throw it and then roll the die. There is a sound that comes when you land the roll, which is a pop, and I don't know if that's something you can actually change. I accidentally hit escape there, so it made me stand up. But looking at audio-wise, I guess you could knock off the sound effects maybe, and that might remove that sound. That's probably the only sound in this entire thing I'm not too much of a fan of. Now, just before I get back to the table and show you some more there, I'll also show you there is one object to actually interact with, and that is this recorder here. So we can play some vinyl. So we can grab this out. And I'm literally doing this. So, I mean, you might be thinking, oh, I'm just clicking on things and they're kind of auto doing it. I'm actually controlling the mouse and placing this on there. And then I'm going to take this and drop it as best I can on the outer edges, kind of. And we will start playing this thing. I might have missed it. Yeah, I think I did. Oh yeah, definitely did. There we go. And just like that, you've got some music to play. So now, you know, you can have your friends in here sitting down playing Kingdom Death Monster with some music going on. I'm assuming that that rack, among probably other items that will eventually show up in this area, to add to the experience in this room, will allow you to be, you know, have a collection of different music you can listen to. So you can sit down at the table, and we can now maybe rotate the camera in a way to take a look at the rule book, for instance. So you can say, like, you know, you want to go to the content section, flip the page over. In terms of interacting with anything in the contents, you can literally just click on each piece of the rule book and it will just take you there. So you can say, I want to go to the hunt phase, and it just fires you straight there. And now you can start reading the rules. You can obviously, you know, use this menu system over here on the side in order to get to places faster if you wish. But this is kind of cool. Again, very handy to kind of have as a quick reference if you don't have the game, or maybe it's way up on top of a shelf somewhere or something like that. But in-game, certainly useful while you're playing. And you have the freedom to, I believe, pick this up and move it around wherever you want. So we also have the character sheet here as well. You can pick it up, you can rotate it. Rotating is just simply spinning it around. Once you place it, it stays where it is. So in this case, we'll kind of try and make it as straight as it was originally. And then you can come in here, you can pick it up if you don't like where it is, drop it somewhere else. You've got the all the different aspects and pieces from the original game you can do the similar interactions with. For the dice, I don't think, what did I not do? I don't know if archiving I've done that. So archiving, I'm not sure if that just chucks it or what it does, but I've archived that. Now, if you ever do something and you want to reset what you've done, you can just hit escape and hit reset room and the whole thing will just reset. So if you do anything you don't like, you can reset it. I'm not too sure what the archiving does yet, but I did notice that when I sat down at the table, the mouse is free. So now I can come down here and I can click on the chat area over here where you can send, you know, have a chat going with friends, share information back and forth. You can get into your inventory this way. You can actually take pictures. You can get into your settings. But let's take a look here at this pad here. So you can send to inventory. You can draw on the sheet. So you can literally rip a piece of paper off. Place it there. If I click on this now, I could probably come in here and I can go, I wonder if I can actually draw it directly on this or not. Scrap it. I don't really want to scrap it. Let's see. Flip, scrap, send inventory, pick up. If I pick it up, will it go back to where it was? No. Well, it kind of does, but it's... All right, so that's that. Going to the next one here, you've got your draw sheet off, tears it off. Now I'm guessing, you'd think that there would be like a pen in here that we'd interact with, and maybe it's in the box. You got the board. You can open this up. The hunt board. I guess technically other side, not rotate, sorry. Let's do a, wow, let's flip it. There we go. And then rotate it. There we go. And then let's go ahead and open up the box. This is really cool. I like how this is done because it's just kind of all pre-set for you, and you can just easily kind of thumb through things. Once you click inside the box, you can just quickly move your mouse across the different cards and they kind of pop up in the different sections. So you can find the section, you can move your camera angle, you can get right in there, you can zoom in to the point where you can see everything you need to see. You could say I want to get the Screaming Antelope out, and it's going to pull all the cards up. This is also really cool. The UI is very good in its quality in terms of how it looks. So we can grab the AI deck here, for instance, and drop it on the table. Right, and then from here you can do your things like you can shuffle the deck. And of course, once you get used to all the different quick keys, you'll be able to do this without any issue whatsoever. And then of course, when you need to actually draw a card, I think draw is probably going to be, that's actually E. So we do an E. There you go. And you can see quick. So that the one thing I do kind of like about this zoom thing, I wasn't 100% on board with it originally, but then I kind of liked it because it kind of just focuses you in. If you're looking at everything at a high level and all of a sudden you're like, I want to move a character, you can just jump right to that character, right? Pick them up, and now from here you can start determining, you know, how you want to move and where you want to go and all that kind of stuff. And then you can pick their direction once they're down in terms of what direction they're looking and go from there. So you have all these different aspects built into the system. You can also pick up something here from the box, you know, take it out. If you don't want it, you just click it back in the box again and it will go to where it was originally. Tokens wise, they'll all show up here. I guess in this case, I think this is probably more so an issue with my screen size. I'm playing at a resolution of 3440 by 1440. So it's very wide and it's not very tall. It's not a typical 4:3 ratio. So it's cutting off the top and bottom of the tokens, which I think is probably something that will get patched or corrected later on. But you can simply choose the token you want, and then now you've got it in your hand. You can bring it to the table. Oh, and look at that. There's the die that we had archived. So I guess when you archive something as you would in the game, you archive it right back in the box. That just makes common sense. So if I want to bring that back out, I could do that. Let's see, I put that over there. Coming back in here, you can pick up tokens and take them out. You can, of course, and if you just want to, you know, quickly do this, you could probably, and I don't know, there's probably a quick button for grabbing things to your inventory, which I don't know off the top of my head. But if I go to settings and I go to input, if I said there's inventory, but is there a quick, like, maybe a quick grab or send to inventory kind of button? That would be kind of handy. Maybe. Let's see. So if we take this and I take this token, for instance. Oh, I see. So you don't really have to click necessarily. You can just kind of click back into the box. You kind of take your token, move outside of the box with the so really, as long as your mouse moves outside of the box, then you're gonna be able to just drop the token on the table somewhere easily. You got the game board here. You got your lion set up. So again, this is the base game kind of going, and yeah, so this is essentially what's inside of this currently. You can rotate the deck, shuffle it, set a name, send it to inventory. So once it's on the table, I guess you can put it in your inventory. You can just draw a card, pick it up. That's kind of cool. And then, of course, if you've got something like this, now you go pick up. Actually, here's something. I'm going to just try hitting E from here. Yeah, so you don't have to zoom in. You zoom in when you click on it. But if you want to avoid that completely, you can push your mouse on top of it, hit E, and now you just grab it. And then, of course, it'll just place exactly wherever you want it to go. So you throw it into a slot, and it's going to stay in that exact slot, which is sweet. Cool. So that is that. The actual quality of the board when it's zoomed in is pretty good. The colors come across nice. The miniatures look good. Graphics look good. I don't know if you saw this earlier, but I do have this thing set to, I think, maximum. Yeah, ultra, which I guess is maximum in this case. And it does look good. It looks really polished and nice. You can see my record has finished playing. It's still spinning though. But this is essentially what's in here right now. So you're able to sit down, and of course, what you can do is, I think the one thing I would probably say, which would be a big benefit, would maybe, I mean, they do essentially have the game set up to a point where most people can sit down and begin playing and bringing things out of the box, but it could be worth it to, it'll be interesting to see if there's any quick setup, features to the game in the future that maybe speed up the setup times, stuff like this. I mean, this is good for the beginning, but maybe something that would speed up the play of the game. But beyond that, it's interesting. I'm intrigued, and I'm kind of curious to see what they do with the different aspects of this, and like what they're going to add So you can play in the dark. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. I didn't go ahead and do that, but you can shut off the lights. Enjoy KDM in the darkness. Actually looks pretty good. So that is the current setup. And of course, if you have, if I had another key here, I could bring somebody else in, which I probably will grab another key. Maybe so I can bring a friend in to be able to play this in the future. But again, I think the big benefit for me personally and why I was interested in it is mainly because of the fact that I don't always have a free table for KDM to be set up on. So this is good. There is obviously, as most people know, other ways to play KDM, which won't cost money, but at the same time, not really supporting the person that created the game. And also, this is going to likely, if it's trending in the direction it seems to be trending, will probably match and maybe exceed, or quite possibly exceed what's available from the TTS mod. But it's quite smooth, so I'm happy. I'm happy for sure with what I'm seeing here, and things do move nice. And I also like that if I interact with like the rule book and things like that, like the actual the print and stuff like this is easy to read, easy to see. Like you can quickly look at certain aspects of the rule book, which is nice. So really the biggest thing is just jumping between the pages, you know, jumping to contents, jumping to the certain aspect you're trying to figure out, back and forth, that kind of thing. It's relatively smooth, which is very nice. When I say relative, I mean it is very smooth. It's not hitching or having any issues on my PC at all. So, but that is gonna do it. That is all that I believe there is at this point, unless there's something hidden in here that I'm not aware of. But what I'll probably do is, as things maybe progress over time, I'll jump back in here and kind of show you different and new aspects of what's in this thing. But for right now, what's going on inside the dwelling area, it's pretty much locked up tight. It's just a walkthrough that you can do. But anyway, I hope that this helps you get a good idea as to what you can expect to find inside of this. How they're advertising it is it's not really meant for kind of mass market appeal, I guess is what they're saying. So they're not looking to kind of, you know, have this be the main way to play KDM. I think it's supposed to be a supplementary way to play the game for people that love it. And they're probably trying to make it unique and special at the same time. One thing I am noticing, and I don't know if this matters at all or not, but I can see out the window there looks to be like a light there and a light over here, and it's certainly coming from outside unless it's a reflection off the lights on the front here, and it's just bouncing in a weird way or bouncing off one of these other lights. But it looks like that's outside, which is quite interesting. So who knows how big this dwelling actually, or this area actually is, but it's interesting to say the least. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. This is a short one, and again, as I was not feeling so great recently, I thought I would jump on and say hi and also show you guys something a little bit different, a little bit new. And when I come back from PAX Unplugged and fully rested or potentially completely exhausted, I'll be jumping back in with some more games to show you guys, which I'm really, really excited about. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.